Hey friends, happy Thursday. We are going live for day 2 of our Focus and Clarity Challenge, where today we are focusing on these strategies and marketing techniques that we can be using to better connect and convert with our ideal clients. So if you joined us yesterday, we had an amazing day 1, and I've had so much fun kind of hanging out with you guys right here on Facebook. Day 1 was all about clarity, and we covered quite a bit during that time, right? We covered understanding how an attraction-based business works, how we can make it work for you with what you have just at your ready with your existing business, and some of the principles behind that in terms of clarifying your brand, understanding your ideal clients, and how to come up with a really great offer for those individuals. So that's what we talked about yesterday, and I hope that you found that super impactful. The feedback was absolutely amazing. Today we are going on to part 2, which is our focus, right? So we really want to be able to focus on the right strategies, the right priorities, to make sure that we are doing the right things each day and week to ultimately connect us with those we're wanting to work with in our markets. So exciting. So let me know if you are here with us. I see a bunch of you hopping on the live stream. We have Raquel from Hampton Roads area of Virginia. That's super cool. Welcome, Raquel. Happy to have you. I'm here in Phoenix, if you guys didn't know. Phoenix, Arizona, also serving Scottsdale and all the surrounding metros, all that good stuff. Andrea's here. Happy Thursday from Iowa, ready to really give all of this some space and attention. Then you are in the right place. I love that. Welcome, welcome. Super excited to get to this. So I wanted to kind of also mention really quick. Oh, here we go. Everyone's popping in. Kathy, hello from Tucson. Cassie, there is a replay. Go back into the event logs from the day 1 event. That replay is going to be available in there for you. And we also actually put it up on YouTube just in case anything happens with like Facebook. That is going to be available on my YouTube channel as well, as will today's live stream and tomorrow's. Raquel, ready to focus. Love it. Nikki, hi from, is that Iowa? And Kenny, I don't know that. I hate like not being able to know it right off the top of my head, and I'm always like worried that I'm going to say like the city or get the initials of the state wrong. I mean, I know most of them, right? But like sometimes it's been a little while since like 8th grade history where you learn all the states, right? Ready to focus. Melissa, hello from Cali. Hey, Melissa. So I want to do a really quick moment where we talk about Insiders Club, because we had many people join the Insiders Club yesterday after we opened the doors during yesterday's live stream. And I'm super, super excited to welcome those of you who did decide to move forward. Now, you should have received your login details and had a chance to hop into the members area where your action plan for September and all of your yummy bonuses are available in there. So let me know in the chat if you had a chance to get signed in. Kick the tires a little bit, get a sense of what's in there. I would love to hear your feedback if you have any just initial thoughts. The other thing that I wanted to mention is we do have a private Facebook group for that community. And Kenny, okay, thank you. Did I get it right or no, Nikki? And Kenny. That's a really cool city name, but I just like want to make sure I say it right. See, I'll leave that area to you as the area expert, okay, Nikki? That is so funny. So like I was saying, for Insiders Club, we do have a private Facebook group. And when you are in that group, you're going to see a little button on the side, or rather, if you're in the members portal, you're going to see a button on the side that says join the Insiders Club Facebook group. Please do that, because I'm actually going live once a month in there to do a live coaching Q&A session that is exclusive to you guys in the Insiders Club. So definitely go ahead and make sure that you have joined the Facebook group. We are rolling that out today. And that's also where you are going to collaborate with other insiders and really be able to collaborate with other like-minded real estate agents who are working on the same things and towards the same sort of goals. So that is what I wanted to mention to you as well. We have another really cool bonus that I want to talk about today for anyone who chooses to join. Today, we have the doors open for the Insiders Club through the end of the week. So if you have any questions about that, please do let me know. You can leave it in the comments after we get through the content, but we are super, super excited to kick off the Insiders Club and get that going. I think this is going to be absolutely transformative. And I really think that this is an offering that is available to all agents with the level of commitment that we have. So again, it should be at a price point that is attainable for you, and it is going to be something at a time and energy commitment that you can do, because these are business systems designed to be implemented and carried out in 20 minutes per week or less. That should translate easily into 1, 2, or 3 more deals each month. I'm not even kidding. This is like the top of the top, the cream on top of your highest leverage priorities that you can be doing each week, each month in your real estate business. So I'm super excited as you guys start diving into that content and learning more about that. I'm just like eagerly anticipating your feedback. I hope you guys love it as much as I do, because I put so much hard work into it. So I'm just really thrilled to be able to roll that out. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. So today, what we are talking about specifically are our day 2 focus strategies. This is going to be the plan that makes converting committed clients inevitable. And if we have any questions about this as we go, please let me know. This is designed to be collaborative. This is designed to be interactive. I want you to utilize the comments with this so that we can really dive deep. And I'm just going to kind of get to the content, and we're going to dive into it, okay? So the first thing that I want you to write down, you should have your pen and paper with you, is a little bit of a notepad. I'm a big pen and paper person right here. So I'm the person who has to like write everything down, because that's how I process. And then I usually take my notes and I like transcribe them later in the day to the places that I might want to file those for keeping. But what I want you to write down is secret to success. We're going to start off with the secret to success, and I'm going to take a sip while we think about that. You're going to share your message on and off social media for new contacts and conversions. The reason why this is so important to understand is yesterday we talked about clarifying our brand by really understanding our ideal clients, understanding our audience, understanding where they are in the cycle of homeownership, and what big challenges or desires they are struggling with right now. Once we understand that, we can kind of take it a step further and craft a message that's really well articulated to them specifically. And this is what takes us, like the work that we're going to do today is what takes us from screaming to the masses and wondering why no one's responding, instead to speaking directly to our ideal clients, whether we're on social media, whether we're speaking to our database, whether we're in our open houses, whatever you've got going on. And for marketing to be really super effective for any industry, this is not just real estate, for any industry, for marketing to be super effective, it has to be ultra consistent. You have to hear the same message on average 7 to 13 times as a consumer before you really start to get it, before it starts to click. And this is the first thing that I tell real estate agents who are like, well, I went on, when I got into real estate, I got onto social media. I told all my followers, I told all my friends and family that I was in real estate. Like I already did that. It's not our job. It's not their job to remember what we do. It's our job to remind them. Okay. And that's where really clear and consistent marketing messaging comes in. It allows us to really draw that message out, make it very clear, and direct it exactly to where we need it to go. So that's the first thing that we want to know. Secret to success, you're going to share your message on and off social media for new contacts and conversions. And I'm going to put that in the chat so that you guys can kind of refer to that as well. Michelle says, so far I am loving what I have seen in the Insider Club. I'm so glad to hear that, Michelle. Welcome. Oh, Mr. Cohen says, hey, Stephanie. Welcome, Mr. Cohen. Happy to see ya. So if we're talking about messaging, let's talk about what that's actually going to result in when we do it really well. And by the way, in the Insiders Club, this is part of why we started with social media as our first theme, because we're doing a lot of work around messaging and translating that well there, because that's one area where it's kind of harder. It's one thing to have a conversation with someone, it's another to grab attention and convert in 160 characters, right? So to speak. So the number one reason why you lose out on referrals or repeat business, could any of you guess? I saw a stat yesterday that said only about real estate agents can only account for about 30% of their income coming from referrals or repeat business. That's not okay, guys. Like, it needs to be at least 50%. For me and my business, like I said, we're still selling homes. Like, I'm not one of these coaches who's just like, telling you what to do and not actually seeing if it works. We're a small but mighty team here in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. We are actively selling, and about 65 to 70% of our business comes from database and referral. The rest comes organically from social media. And that's about where I like it, right? I don't like having all my eggs in one basket. And that is actually a little higher than it has been in the past for referral, but that's because we have built up our database and nurtured it so well. And because of that, it also makes sure that we don't have to prospect too much, because it's an attraction-based business model. The referrals come, the repeat business comes. As long as we're doing what we need to do, we don't have to worry about like chasing leads. They just kind of come. That's like literally the point of what we're talking about here. So the number one reason why you lose out on referrals or repeat business. Let's see. Melissa says lack of follow-up. Cassie says they forget who you are. It's because they don't remember or understand why they should hire you over your competition. So they might remember, some are going to forget, right? And there is a stat that says a significant amount of buyers forget their real estate agent's name after the first year. And if you look back to how many clients you've kind of ghosted after they purchased, that kind of makes sense. We've all done it, right? It's something that we can correct, but we've been there. But a lot of times they don't understand how to refer you, because they don't know why somebody should hire you over your competition. So they would refer you if they knew what to say, if they knew how to talk to their friends and family about that. Like, if you get asked specifically, if someone comes up to you, Melissa, and they're like, hey, Melissa, I really need a good roofer who's going to be able to come to my house, who's going to charge me fairly, and who's going to do really good work. And by the way, I want to make sure they have really good reviews and that they're going to follow through. Like, I don't want them to start the job halfway through and then leave right before a big storm comes. Do you know any roofers like that? Like, that's really specific. And Melissa, if you get asked a question like that, you're very quickly going to be like, yeah, okay, this is exactly who you need. Hopefully you know somebody. If you didn't, you'd be on Yelp, like trying to figure it out, right? And making sure that you could provide that resource. But that's an easy thing to respond to. But our homeowners don't have that knee-jerk response to being able to refer people, because it's probably not as important to their income as it is to ours. We understand the importance of referrals, but not all working people do, because some people just don't have income based off referral, right? And so if they hear about somebody who is unexpectedly having twins, or who got a job offer out of state and they're planning a move, or who is really excited because their parents are moving into town, they're not immediately going to think, oh, house, need, real estate, Melissa. They're not going to connect those dots unless you teach them to. Give me a what if you are hearing what I'm saying, if this is starting to click. I think we forget this. I think we take for granted how natural referring people comes to us in real estate. And we forget that we have to teach our database how to refer us and why to refer us. Because it's not enough to say like, oh, hey, I'm looking for a realtor. Do you know who helped you buy your house? Like, most people are not going to say that. Most people are not going to go to their friends and family and ask that. They're going to go do their own due diligence online and check around, and then ultimately like fall into the lap of a realtor and go with them, just depending on who's easiest to access, right? So that's why it's so important to be able to focus on real people and real relationships and have these conversations with them, because at the end of the day, that's what real estate is built on. Real estate is built on real people and real relationships. And social media specifically, which we talk about social media a lot, does not change that. It does not change anything that's always worked in real estate. It doesn't change anything that's always worked, in that it's allowing us to connect with people, develop relationships that we otherwise wouldn't be able to develop if we didn't meet them any other way. It amplifies our ability to create relationships at scale. Okay? So the first thing that you want to do when you're really getting started out on social media is you want to make sure that you're actually connecting with your database. And the agents who I coach in Market Authority Academy do this really well. Like we had an agent on our coaching call last Thursday, a week ago, who kind of got on and was just randomly started sharing about this crazy experience she had when she had joined the Market Authority Academy. And within like a month, way sooner than she expected, she got multiple listings, and she was so busy with more clients than she had ever had. She was a school administrator. She was in education. She was part-time in real estate. And suddenly the summer hits, she starts doing these things, and she's flooded with business. And she's like, my business had never been more busy, because as a part-time agent, I didn't even know what the most important things to do were to get that repeat business and referral, even after being in the business for almost 7 years, right? And she was able to completely turn things around just by making sure that she was connecting with the right people and sharing the right messaging on social media. And this happens with a lot of the agents that I coach. And this is a lot of the stuff that you're going to be able to work on too if you join the Market Authority Academy down the line, or in the Insiders Club specifically. But a lot of you can just start thinking right now, like, am I actively doing this? And I want you to think, if you're not, why? What's keeping you from doing this? What's keeping you from connecting with the right people in the right place and saying the right thing? A lot of times it's analysis paralysis. A lot of times it's just not really knowing how to show up, not knowing what to say. A lot of times though, what I hear the most often is, I don't want to come off as salesy spammy. Oh, Steph, I'm not that salesy spammy, pushy real estate agents. I'm not pushy into sales. I'm not going to be pushing my friends and family. I know people say call your sphere, but you can only call them and ask for business so many times. Why am I going to go and do that any differently on social media? Right? So many real estate agents are so afraid of coming off as salesy spammy. But here's what happens. That's a very selfish way to behave. Sorry. Being afraid of coming off as salesy spammy is actually very selfish, because you are afraid of a scenario that you're creating in your head, and you're letting that keep you from helping the people who matter to you make really important financial moves in their life. We have to care enough about our clients, our database, our friends and family, the people who need our real estate expertise. We have to care enough about them to dive a little deeper, understand where we can apply value, understand what their problems are, and help create solutions. That's why we start with clarity in step 1. Step 2 is executing on the right strategies, which is what we're talking about now. What if I'm coming off as salesy spammy? Well, if you're worried about that, here's how we fix it in 3 steps. Number 1, people want more content. They want more ideas. They want more solutions. They want more insights from you. People are tired of searching for everything online. People are tired with the Google fire hose of information. They're tired of trying to sift through all of the clickbaity, crazy content that they hear on TikTok and Instagram, and these like finance guru bros who are saying that now is when the market's going to crash, and now is when you need to be pulling out or going in or whatever. Like, there's so much conflicting information online, and people are tired of trying to make sense of something that they don't understand in the first place. They want solutions from you. And if you are afraid of providing those solutions and insights and ideas in the first place because you just assume it's going to be salesy spammy and you don't want to bother them, you're keeping them in that position of being absolutely overwhelmed, right? You're not helping anybody. You're just being selfish. Tough love from Stefanie. You got to know who you're dealing with here. So That leads us to step 2. People really want less confusion, they want less guessing games, and they want less overwhelm. If a lot of your social media marketing strategy is regurgitating things that your clients are already reading on Google, you are not helping them. I'm going to say that one more time. If a lot of what you're posting on social media is FAQs, tips and tricks, all this stuff, they're already seeing it on Google. Like if somebody's thinking about buying and selling, they're already seeing it on Google. That is not helpful social media content. That is adding to the noise and the confusion and the guessing games and the overwhelm that your people are dealing with. Instead, you need to be sharing opinions. You need to be sharing stories. You need to be illustrating facts with data. You need to be sharing transformations that you are helping your clients achieve now, or what you think your clients can achieve in the future. That is how you get somebody out of feeling confused, overwhelmed, lost in the guessing games. The most powerful thing as a real estate agent that you can do for your buyers and sellers is get them out of that place and get them to a place of clarity and confidence. This is what we call in market authority the transformation. And if you can help facilitate that transformation to your ideal clients, especially in the way that you're marketing on social media, they will never ever leave you because they trust that you have taken the time to understand where they're at on a personal level and that you have tailored a solution that takes into consideration all of the things that matter to them. And that's truly all people want. That's truly all people want. People want to be heard. They don't want to be sold. But if we're doing this right, we're not selling, we're serving. Okay? Now, number 3, people want clarity and confidence, kind of like I just said. They want that clarity and confidence. I think that we really, again, another thing we take for granted is how impactful a real estate transaction is on a person's life. If you haven't heard this stat, there is a stat that says it is the second most stressful experience a person can go through in their life to get a mortgage and buy a home, second only to death of a family member. So in the most traumatizing experiences that we can have in our life, number 1, death of a family member. Number 2, getting a mortgage. That is insane, first of all. But we really have to understand that. And I've always understood this because, and this is like just kind of a personal story for me. Like my family was personally victimized by the 2008 housing crash. We were one of those families. My parents got in for an arm that destroyed their ability to hold on to our home. And they never recovered. I had to give my mom $10,000 in order, I was happy to help her, but in order to buy a home for herself for the first time, almost 15 years after that happened. She wasn't able to be a homeowner because it wrecked my family financially for that long. And I've carried that weight in my heart since I started in real estate 8 years ago, right? And it's always been super, super clear to me from that experience. This is not a transaction. This is not a deal. This is not a door we're opening. This is somebody's life. This is where somebody is sleeping at night, where they're going to be raising their children. Have you ever come home after a long trip and you open the door and you put your stuff on the ground and you get in and you get comfortable and you're like, oh man, I'm so glad to be home. Like you're not thinking about the chipping on the paint or like the leak in the bathroom at that moment, you know, the little drip in the faucet that like our homeowners like leave to the last minute to fix. You're not thinking about that kind of stuff. You're just thinking about how good it is to be home. People want clarity and confidence, and they want to know that they can achieve that feeling. And they don't want to have to jump through hoops and wonder if they are putting their family at risk of financial ruin to achieve that. Because if they're worried that that's the case, they're going to sacrifice that feeling of safe haven and financial wealth building opportunities to not move forward with real estate. They are willing to give that up if they think that it's not the right decision for them. And that's what's happening right now. The market has shifted. And we know our buyers can still probably buy. We know our sellers can still sell for a lot of money. We know they probably could make a move if they wanted to, but right now they don't even know if now is the right time. They don't know if they should still be looking to buy or sell. That's why they're waiting in the wings. They don't know if now is the right time. They don't know if, right? They need clarity and confidence, which is why if you can get them to that place, they will be your clients for life, and they will do whatever it takes to support your business and send their friends and family to save them from the very fears that you saved that client from. That's my soapbox moment. I didn't mean to take y'all to church. So we have to start with our market's needs. Stop thinking about your needs. Stop thinking about the sale. Stop thinking about the deal. Stop thinking about the commission. That's a byproduct of doing the things that matter, like starting with your market's needs. So specifically, when it comes to marketing boils down to understanding our market's external and internal challenges. All right? So let's think about this. Our external and internal challenges. External challenges, think of this as anything that can be found on Google. These are the actual hoops that our clients need to jump through in order to buy or sell and do that really successfully. Okay, so how do I get started to buy, or how do I begin the home search process? Where should I buy? How am I going to navigate a low inventory environment? How am I going to get financing now that interest rates have gone up 2.5% and caused the average household payment to go up $800 on the average $400,000 loan? Guys, like these are external challenges that are ultimately caused by the market, that are just kind of like a running list of factors that always change depending on what your buyers and sellers are dealing with in the moment. And this is where we do really well, because this is tangible stuff that we see every day and we can coach our clients through that. That's external challenges. And if you could remove external challenges through marketing that says, yeah, interest rates have gone up. This is true. You might be paying more on your monthly payment because of that for the same house. But here's what that actually does. Interest rates have gone up and removed so much competition that you now don't have to pay $60,000 out of pocket for the same house that you would have 4 months ago. Now is an even better time to buy because interest rates went up than it was in the spring during the seller frenzy. You have more options, you have less competition, and more importantly, you have time to make a decision that feels good. That is how you market yourself to remove an external challenge. You are all free to steal that script. That's an external challenge. And think of a couple of other ones, right? There's a couple of ways that we can think about that. But more challenging are internal challenges. By the way, external challenges, this is why it's so important to understand your ideal clients. They're always going to be changing for our ideal clients based off of what the market is doing. Okay, so if you remember back to my example of my ideal client example yesterday, second time moving up, their biggest external challenge was being able to get a contingent purchase offer accepted, being contingent on selling their home. And it wasn't even that hard most of the time, but they just assumed it wasn't going to be impossible for them. And so we coached them through that process. Today, their challenge is just making sure that the affordability is still there, accounting for higher interest rates and accounting for how much longer it's going to take to sell their home, relatively speaking. Okay, so external challenges are changing all the time. This is why it's really helpful to understand your ideal client so that you can always stay abreast of what their actually challenges are, so that you can always keep your marketing fresh and you can pivot. Internal challenges, again, are anything that are personal and feeling based. So again, I just told you an extremely personal story about my experience through the 2008 housing crash. Do you think that if I wasn't a real estate agent with an understanding of the process, that would probably make buying a home for me as I went into adulthood really challenging? That limiting belief of like buying a home equals like financial ruin, lack of stability, loss of shelter, right? If I was holding on to that as a limiting belief and I didn't address that, or somebody didn't coach me through that, it would probably create a very difficult internal challenge for me to dismantle in order to achieve homeownership. Not many people are going to bare their soul like I did just with you right now. And a lot of millennials who saw their parents go through that experience hold on to that and don't really want to talk about it. That's one of the reasons why millennials rented for longer than they normally would have. Also, there were many, 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 many meaningful external challenges, but that's beside the point. Other internal challenges really boil down to, should I buy or sell? When should I buy or sell? And what am I going to do after? People know they can figure it out. People know they can probably force things through if they really had to. Like if you had to find shelter, you could figure it out. It's Maslow's hierarchy. We're going to figure it out. We've done it for 200,000 years. But internal challenges, like if we can't get over those, it's going to make it really hard to get your buyers or sellers to make any decision. And that's why you want to be marketing with that in mind. You want to be speaking about those challenges and assuming that your people might be dealing with that a little bit on social media to remove that from the equation. So for example, the way that I market through internal challenges, right now, a really good way that I'm marketing through internal challenges is speaking to my first-time home buyers who ultimately are buying in like the 6s and 7s right now, which is super cool for me. But when they're going to buy, they're really afraid of buying because they're thinking that the market is going to crash. And that's an internal challenge because it's actually not true, right? But they're just afraid of the unknown. And so what I'm actually doing is saying like, hey, look, the market has corrected. It is correcting. It has softened. And for example, this is why that matters to first-time home buyers. Look at David and Sarah, who just purchased their first home after moving here to Phoenix a couple of years ago. We were able to get all of their closing costs paid for and have additional closing costs left over to buy down their interest rate closer to where it would have been if they had purchased during the spring before they rose. That suddenly makes somebody think, oh, maybe I should buy. And maybe I should buy sooner than I thought. And maybe if I do, I'm still going to have a really good interest rate because maybe I can finagle that with the right real estate agent by my side and ultimately create a great outcome. Okay. So I know we spent a little extra time on that than I planned on, but I think it's really important to provide context. How are we feeling with all of that? Give me a got it in the comments. Got it. If that feels really good and if that's getting some juices stirring for you. So these are the kind of exercises that we're doing in the Insiders Club. And then I'm giving you the scripts and templates to actually carry that out. So for example, on social media, it's pretty easy to see how this translates, right? In October, we're going to be talking about time management. That's our topic for October. So maybe time management is a little bit about dialing in the prospecting routines of when we're going onto social media and saying these things. Okay. Got it. I've got it from Melissa. I've got it from Cassie, Michelle, Casey. We are all good. Love it. And by the way, this is also the stuff that we've been working on in Market Authority for months, preparing for this. So I know we have a couple MAA people here with us too. You guys are already working on these skills as well. Self-analyze. All right. So here's a few prompts for you. And I want you to write this down. Okay. So pen and paper, we're going to write it down. Does my marketing show up in the right areas? Are you consistently sharing messaging like this on social media, to your database, in your follow-up? And this means, are you putting that same kind of messaging in your database newsletter or your mailers? Are you putting this kind of messaging in your follow-up? When you're following up with people, are you asking more questions and listening more than you're talking? and getting to the real root of the problem, so then you can help people dismantle people's external and internal challenges. So we're going to ask ourselves that first. Number 2, does my marketing create solutions or does it just give info? I'm going to put these in the chat for you guys. Does my marketing create solutions or does it just give info? This is really important. Does my marketing, number 3, speak to the current real pressures that my clients are feeling? If you're still talking about interest rates being low, you're wrong. Right? Like, not wrong, historically speaking, but like, that's not what people are thinking right now. And so it might be a little off, is my point. Does my marketing speak to the current real pressures my clients are feeling? And if you don't know what your clients are feeling, ask them. Go back to step 1. Does my marketing show up in the right areas? Marketing is asking just as much as it is telling. So when you're following up with your clients, hey, last I spoke, you were taking a little time off from the home purchase process. You guys needed a breather. You're going to kind of wait a little bit and see what was going to happen with the market. Where's your mind at? Have you been watching the market? I know you've been opening up those MLS emails. What are you thinking? Oh, I don't know. We're just still really afraid of buying at the top of the market. And, we're just not sure if this is the right time, especially going into the holidays. Oh, I totally hear that. That makes sense. It's actually not the top of the market. We actually peaked back in late May, and your price point is down, like where you were looking, that average sales price is down $45,000 in the last 6 weeks. Things have shifted really rapidly. Why don't we hop on the phone and talk about that? Why don't we meet for coffee and talk about that? Let's put a new game plan in place. Make sure that you're really prepared to move forward, right? This is exactly what you need to be focusing on as we head into a recession, an economic recession, and at the very least, a market shift. All right. This is exactly what you need to be focusing on. If you don't know where you're, like, I was talking to an amazing agent recently in the Market Authority, and she was like, I've got 22 buyers who are on the sidelines right now because they're afraid of making a move. And I don't want to bother them because I don't want to be salesy spammy. And I was like, you not bothering them is going to cost them tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. Is that worth it to you? Can you sleep at night knowing that you are doing that to them? And it's like such a mindset shift, because suddenly when we think of it that way, we're like, oh my gosh, of course not. And of course she wasn't wanting to do that. She's an amazing person, a heart of gold, value-driven real estate agent. But maybe she just needs a little bit of a reframe. And this is the kind of conversations that we have to be having right now, not only so that we can help our clients and future clients make better decisions, but so that we can inform our own marketing to reach and impact more people in our community. Because every time you learn something and every time you hear something that your clients are saying, you should be baking that into your marketing. If I get the same question twice, I know that's my job to make a reel or a YouTube video about it. If I get the same question twice, I am making a piece of content about it. Are you really buying at the top of the market? Here's why you're not. It can be really simple, right? 80% of those surveyed, by the way, said that the pandemic made their priorities more clear, and over 50% of people made a life decision because of that. So when we see huge economic shifts like we're seeing right now, we have the Great Resignation, we have a market shift, we're getting out of the post-pandemic world. So we're entering a new phase of the world in our society post-pandemic. Anytime we have these big shifts, people make giant life decisions. So that's why we're seeing the Great Resignation right now. People make life decisions right now. And while it sucks that the market is shifting and it feels like it's going to complicate things for us, this is actually a perfect time for us to make hay. You know what I mean? And really create incredible gains in our business if we only know how to do it. And so tomorrow, what we'll be talking about are tools and automations that we can use. So not to leave you hanging, but that's what I got for you today. Tomorrow, we're talking about the workflows, processes, and procedures that will streamline your operations and continue to generate clients with absolute predictability. Sounds fun, right? We're going to walk through that. But if you are still with me, let's take a moment and talk again about the Insiders Club. Because you can still join, doors are still open through the end of the week. And this is exactly the kind of work that we are doing in the Insiders Club. I just put a link to it. For those who joined yesterday, you are invited to our private Zoom office hours this evening at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You are going to get an email with an invite and a special link to join me on Zoom, where we're going to have a live working session around this month's issue that just dropped. If you join today, we're going to invite you in because we still got space. So that's your bonus for 2. We're extending that special office hours bonus through today only, obviously until 4 p.m. Pacific, because that's when we're going live. And during that time, I'm also going to be delivering to you a 30-day social media refresh challenge. You are going to love it, and it's going to plug in perfectly with the content that we rolled out in September for the Insiders Club. So if you haven't joined yet, definitely do. Make sure that you are in that first group to be in there before the doors close. I think it's going to be super, super fun. I can't wait to do that. And if you guys have any question, definitely make sure to let me know in the comments right now. Let's talk about this, because I'm live with you right now. This is a great time to talk about that and whatever questions you might have. Jamie says, I'm so freaking excited. I'm excited too. I'm super pumped to have you. I did see Andrea had a comment. I just have such a hard time putting my opinion out there, feeling like I really have any authority to speak to anything. Licensed early last year, and I think I can connect with people, but I get paralyzed when I think about putting something out there wrong. An opinion is just an opinion, first of all. And as long as you're not actively trying to harm somebody, you need to be sharing your opinions. Okay, like it's okay. And with you having been licensed since early last year, you still have more experience than probably half the agents on this live stream. Maybe not. But you should know that about 20% of real estate agents out there right now have been licensed for 2 years or less. Those other 20% are not afraid. They're very loud on the internet right now, and a lot of them are doing really well. And so are you willing to let your fear of putting something out there wrong keep you, A, from providing for your family, and B, helping others provide for theirs? Is that worth it? If it is, stay quiet. If you think you can get around that, start baby steps. You don't have to go around there swinging your red flag and sharing really provocative stuff and being crazy. But you can start sharing new ideas, new insights. Hey, I saw this really interesting article and it made me think of this experience I had with a client recently. What do you think? This is just something I kind of noticed. I wanted to know if this resonates with you too. That's a totally okay to share. That's a totally okay thing to share online. But I want you to know too, Andrea, you're not the only person that struggles with that. Many, many more people do. But also many people don't make it in this industry. And I'm not saying the two are directly correlated, but this is a part of it. You have to have courage to help other people accomplish their dreams. That's a part. That's like that contract that we signed when we decided to get into real estate. It gets easier, I promise. And sometimes you do say the things that are wrong, right? Or someone calls you out and they're like, "Hey, I don't." And that's a really good learning experience. Failure is a natural part of the innovation process. That's actually one of our company values, our brand values. Number one, one of my most important brand values and personal values is that failure is a natural part of the innovation process. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just kind of a natural part of what happens. And I will tell you that every most important thing I've ever learned has happened on the other side of failure. And it's all been really good things. Luckily, you get to bypass a lot of failure because you're in here learning things, kind of getting insights without having just to stumble through it on your own. I hope that helps. Okay, What other questions do we have about what we've covered today? Tomorrow, as I said, we're talking about tools and automations, setting some goals with that, like just understanding how we're going to be implementing these different things in our business. We're going to be touching on the workflows, processes, and procedures that are going to help streamline your operations and continue to generate clients with absolute predictability. And I am going to tell you that one of the tools you need are the Insiders Club. Because a lot of people were really tired of trying to do it on their own, and so that's why I decided to help do it for them. Pilar said, I've been thinking of you, Stefanie, being pregnant and showing up with all your energy to share with us. I can only imagine, as I know being pregnant can be exhausting. Thanks, Pilar. I really appreciate that. Trust me, I already told Bryce I'm going to take a really good nap this weekend. I'm going to be like, nobody bother me for 2 days. Just kidding. Awesome. Okay, guys, I had a really great time today. This was really good stuff. I hope I didn't make anyone uncomfortable with my very personal stories and insights. I always kind of just share it like it is. You guys know how I am one to do that. So let me know if you have any questions or if I can support you. And this replay will be located right here in this day 2 challenge. Day 1 is in day 1 events. So just go to the events tab of this community and you'll find everything you need. And let us know how we can help you. Otherwise, if you have joined the Insiders Club, keep an eye out for a special email invite for our office hours this evening at 4 p.m. Pacific. I cannot wait to hang out with you guys. And in the meantime, we'll talk soon. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific to talk about setting goals and milestones with the right tools and automations. Talk soon, guys. Bye.